Good morning. One of the items that are essential when you're running power plants, right, we primarily want to run them, operate them. We don't want to take them off. We don't want to work on them. But the other big part of our business is outage management. And quite frankly, we don't have a process for that. And I'm a firm believer that you don't get good at things until you have a documented process, right? It's the whole plan, do, check, act, circle. What this session is really about, first of all, we're not going to be laying out scopes for Reed Gardner. We're not going to look at critical paths. We're not going to look at critical equipment lists, not today. Okay, because one of the first things you have to do to get really good as a team is you have to work on some of your teaming skills. It takes work, and this is part of work, because in order to get good at outage planning, it's going to require not just a team at Reed Gardner, it's the team at supply chain, it's the team at Pearson, and it's going to be the team of our contractor. If you go down the path of what we currently do, try to write scopes, competitively bid, you can end up with a different vendor on every outage. Okay, and in some cases, maybe that sounds good, but what does not work is any lessons learned, any efficiencies gained, any of those type of things. Now you start all over with a new guy. Maybe it's 6 months later, it's 9 months later. You're not really building upon the lessons you're learning. An alliance is basically a multi-year agreement where you already know your partner. This is the guy that's going to have all our work for X amount of years, such that when we get better at this process, we're done with an outage, you have a lessons learned, you get together, you can be looking at somebody and saying, hey, in 9 months we're going to be working on Reed 1. Here's what we want to do. And you already start planning many, many months in advance. As of right now, we're engaging with Foster Wheeler to start doing the planning and scheduling. Just keep in mind today, because you will be doing some uncomfortable things, by the way. The power plant guys are not necessarily the warmest and fuzzy types, except for Mr. Baker over here. And we'll be just this short of a group hug. Lean on your strength and your experience and share that. If you sit here and you're quiet and you don't share an idea, a thought, it makes the process weaker. And that's what a lot of today will be about, is getting to trust and understand each other's needs when you try to execute on an outage. We don't have a great track record on scope and budgets and schedules and quality and some of those other things. And they're just nickel and dimes, but this process will eliminate all those things. And at the end of the day, we end up going to our supply chain partners and saying, hey, look, we have a longer term deal here. We didn't chase the lowest dollar, but look at the performance of our plants. Our outages got done faster, safer, higher quality, and that's worth X. Every unit in the summer, one outage day improvement just in a summer may be worth $1 million at Reed Gardner. Give you a little background on OIC. I've known Jonathan for several years. This same process came into my former employer. Very similar deal. Had outage planning teams, a lot of those other things. You almost bankrupt the company. You got a few less people. Okay, well, we can still manage outages. Then you get into a couple outages, and where you used to perform like this, now you performed like that. So what we went down was this alliance route. Jonathan had worked with a couple other big utilities in Pennsylvania. This process got us back to that top performing, because we realized that, hey, it's not about whether we do the work, whether we do all the planning, whether we do all the scoping. It's a matter of, did it get done? Was there good communications? Was there a good schedule? And that's what this is about. It has to get done. It doesn't matter who does it. It matters that it's done and it's of high quality. Okay, and it made a difference. Performance of those units came right back after grinding through this process.